In 2001, Peter Falconio walked to the rear of his campervan on the Stuart Highway, Northern Territory, and then ceased to exist, his girlfriend bound and blindfolded on the same stretch of road 30 feet away, with a decade of searching across thousands of kilometers of Australian outback turning up nothing. Not his body, not his clothes, nothing. And that is the problem. Peter Falconio was 28 years old, a builder from Huddersfield, England. He had come to Australia with his girlfriend, Joanne Lees, on the kind of trip young people plan for years and few actually take, a proper overland crossing north to south, sleeping rough along the way. They had been traveling for months. By July 14, 2001, they were heading south on the Stuart Highway in an orange Volkswagen campervan, somewhere between Alice Springs and Barrow Creek. It was a Sunday night. The highway was empty in the way that outback highways are empty, not quiet, but genuinely absent of human presence for miles in every direction. They had food, they had fuel, they had each other. Nothing was wrong. At approximately 11:00 p.m., a man in a white truck pulled alongside them and flashed his lights. He flagged them down. He told Peter their exhaust pipe was sparking, possibly on fire. Peter climbed out to check the rear of the van. The truck driver walked around with him. Joanne stayed in the passenger seat. She heard a sound, a single muffled crack. She got out to see what was happening. The man was behind her before she understood what she had heard. He forced her arms back. He bound her wrists with a cable tie. He placed something over her head. She was dragged toward his truck. His dog, loose in the cab, distracted him. Joanne pulled free and ran. She scrambled into the scrub beside the highway and pressed herself flat between the low bushes. She did not move for 5 hours. When the truck finally drove away, she flagged down a passing motorist. It was after midnight. Peter was gone. Police arrived at the scene within hours. What they found, the campervan parked on the shoulder. Engine off, lights off. No Peter. No blood visible on the road's surface, though forensic testing later identified a small amount near where he had been standing, enough to confirm injury, not enough to confirm anything more. They searched that night. They returned the next day. Over the weeks that followed, the search expanded: aircraft, ground teams, local trackers, kilometers of scrub covered in a grid. The Northern Territory is not unknowable terrain. It is specific, navigable. People have been found in it before. Peter Falconio was not. No body, no clothing, no footprints leading away from the road. The landscape gave nothing back. The working theory became straightforward. A stranger on a remote road. A woman who escaped. Blood on the tarmac. Peter was shot, loaded into the truck, and driven somewhere far from the highway, somewhere you would never find without already knowing where to look. In 2002, a long-haul truck driver named Bradley John Murdoch became a suspect. He matched the description Joanne had given. DNA from the crime scene was consistent with his profile. In 2005, after a trial lasting several months, Bradley Murdoch was convicted of the murder of Peter Falconio and the kidnapping and assault of Joanne Lees. Case closed, except for the part nobody has ever been able to explain. Here is the problem with a clean verdict. Murdoch's truck was searched. His properties were searched. His associates were investigated. His movements on the night of July 14th were reconstructed in precise detail by both prosecution and defense. And despite a conviction, despite a man serving a life sentence right now, the location of Peter Falconio's remains has never been established. Remember the cable tie that bound Joanne's wrists. She was tied, hooded, and ran through scrub for 5 hours in the dark. The cable tie was found on the road. Her injuries were documented. What happened to her was real. Someone was on that highway. But in the years following the verdict, Murdoch maintained his innocence from inside his prison cell. His defense had raised serious questions about the DNA evidence, a small, degraded sample from a scene that sat in inadequate storage before it was formally processed. An independent forensic review flagged concerns about the chain of custody. None of it overturned the conviction. None of it closed the question either. There is one witness to what happened on the Stuart Highway that night. One, Joanne Lees. She was bound and hooded within seconds of the attack beginning. Her identification of Murdoch came from a narrow window before the hood went on, a man's height and build and partial face caught in the headlights at 11 o'clock at night on an empty road. A composite sketch she helped produce in the days after the disappearance was later noted by observers following the trial to not closely resemble the convicted man. One witness. Disputed DNA. No body. A conviction that stands and a location that has never been given. Bradley Murdoch will not be eligible for parole review until 2032. Peter Falconio's family in England still has no remains to bury. The case is technically classified as unsolved murder, because without a body it cannot fully close. If the right man is in prison, why has no one, not even under the weight of a life sentence, ever said where Peter Falconio is.